Welcome to video number 3 for Chapter 6, The Duel for North America. And today we'll look at the aftermath of the French and Indian War. The aftermath bred restless colonists. Britain's colonists emerged from the war with increased confidence in their military strength and skill. 20,000 colonists were under arms at the war's end. The war shattered the myth of British invincibility, because the colonists had watched them lose repeatedly during the first few years of the war. Displaying the contempt of professional soldiers, the British refused to recognize any American militia commission above the rank of captain, which also insulted the colonists. British officials were distressed by the reluctance of some of the colonies to support the war wholeheartedly. Some colonies, self-centered and alienated by their distance from the war, refused to provide troops and money to help fight the conflict. Colonies still exhibited strong tendencies towards disunity. But unity among the colonies received some encouragement during the French and Indian War as well. When soldiers and statesmen from different colonies met, they discovered they were all Americans who spoke the same language and shared common ideals. It was clear that a coherent nation could emerge, but it would not be easy. The removal of the French menace in Canada profoundly affected American attitudes. In a sense, history of the United States began with the fall of Quebec and Montreal. The Spanish and Indian threats were substantially reduced following the war, and the Spanish removal from Florida and French removal from Canada deprived the Indians of potential allies to offset the growing British power. Pontiac attempted an uprising in 1763, and Pontiac was an Ottawa Native American. He laid siege to Detroit in 1763 and overran all but 3 British posts west of the Appalachians. He killed some 2,000 soldiers and settlers, but the British retaliated swiftly and cruelly with a primitive version of biological warfare. Pontiac died in 1769 at the hands of a rival chief. Colonists were now free to cross the Appalachian Mountains and to take western lands. But London issued the Proclamation of 1763, which banned settlement beyond the Appalachian Mountains. Britain only wanted to avoid another bloody Indian uprising by banning settlement west of the mountains, but angry colonists flouted and ignored the proclamation. They felt that they had fought the war and they had paid the price, and so they basically were supposed to be rewarded with more land to be able to expand onto. The stage was set for conflict between the American colonists and the British. The colonists refused to be restrained, and the British government was frustrated with the colonies. This is map 6.8, which shows the British colonies at the end of the 7 Years' War in 1763. The colonists were spreading rapidly into the backcountry, which made it very difficult for the British to control them. The British Navy, which was very powerful and supplied the British soldiers, could not flush them out as they moved more inland. During the Revolutionary War, the British at one time or another had captured the leading colonial cities, Boston, New York, Philadelphia, and Charleston, all along the eastern seaboard, but the more interior of North America, where the colonists continued to move, provided a sanctuary for rebels. And we'll discuss more about the colonists' disillusionment and their distrust of the British as we progress into our lessons about the American Revolution.